Making coffee is kind of like an art. I feel like I'm maybe slightly a bit of a coffee snob. This is the AeroPress. A barista told me that, okay, I need to make coffee in the van, and what's the best way to do it? She said, this is it. The plastic is apparently made with the same plastic that's in NASA space shuttles, apparently. I have no idea if that's true or false, so hopefully someone can audit that. But I feel like it's one of those things you just have to do it and enjoy the moment, savor it, and appreciate the views that you have. Hello there! I'm Adrian.
I'm Ashley.
And this is our van tiny home. This is Lil Galena. It's a 170 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, and originally was a cargo van, 2016.
No.
Oh, let's redo that.
Back to me. So funny story. We started van life with 3 plants. I don't know why I put 4. 3 plants, and they lasted about 3 weeks. So I wanted to make this tiny space feel like home. Unfortunately, I don't have that green thumb that everyone talks about that you need to have to keep plants alive. Hence why we also don't have an animal in the van. I decorated this with potpourri just to add some nice smells into the van. When you think of a tiny space, one bad smell can really ruin the ambiance that I was trying to create. A common question is, how do we cook our meals? Well, we decided to go with an induction stove, and it's a portable induction stove, so it's not built into the counter space. We did like the idea of having, when we wanted, a really long counter, and sometimes when you do a built-in, it obviously takes away some of that counter space. So our induction stove is in this drawer. Pull it out. Try not to hit anything while you do it. To use the induction stove, we do have to turn on our inverter to get our AC power. Now, one negative to the induction stove is it does use a lot of solar energy. So we have to be very mindful of what we're trying to cook, and also keep it to one dish as much as possible.
It's time to play What's in That Drawer? We'll start with this first one right here. So we keep pretty much all of our plates. The entire van, 4 bowls and basically plates, pretty much covers it all. And then healthy nut mix, gotta have it. Because I think the only time Ash and I ever fight in the van is when we're hangry. So nuts are always, you gotta always keep them. There might be a couple nut spots in the van actually. Ashley showed this earlier. On top of the induction stove, we do keep our silverware and then basically random kitchen gadgets. You know, we could have taken the time to make this all look really clean and organized, but we live in here, right? We don't want to make it seem like we're perfect humans, because we're definitely not. In this drawer, pretty much anything coffee related, cocktail related, oils. We're rocking that avocado oil, super good for you, by the way. Replace corn oil, you'll thank me later. Coffee, honey, cocoa, vanilla extract, and then salt. And then I'll show you one last drawer here. It's gonna flip on this other side. This is basically where we keep all the spices. So, garlic, super, super important for all tasty meals. Parsley, actually don't know if parsley tastes anything, but it makes it look like Instagram worthy. I don't know, there's a tip for you guys. Oregano, super addicted to that. And paprika. These are our go-tos. We have some others, but I would say this is our core 4 plus salt. So for any good tasting meal, we do that. Now, we're currently in Key West, Florida at the making of this video. And if it wasn't for Key West, Florida, I feel like we're kind of on, it feels like a vacation, but normally we're doing like plant paradox, which is super strict of a diet. And, but if it wasn't for that, being in Key West, we're kind of like cheating on our meals right now. But those are our core spices that are plant paradox approved. Everybody wants to know, where do we take shit? Is there a bathroom and is there a shower? Behind this magical door is both. We have a composting toilet here. If you don't know what composting means, I'll just tell you really quickly. It means our number 2 can turn into fertilizer. So if you have plants, send me your address. I'll send you my fertilizer. Then we have a shower head, generously sized. This shower, if you're wondering, yes, you could shit and shower at the same time. That's kind of awesome, right? Now, composting toilet for number 1, it goes in this bucket. It's like a glorified pee bucket. It's probably one of the more unpleasant things we have to do in van life is when it gets full. You have to empty it. So we kind of go back and forth, evenly share it.
Yeah.
But consistency for the design aspect, we do have a beautiful backsplash, that this diagonal tile that's kind of consistent throughout the van, which is pretty nice. And lastly, of course, we got to have our lighting situation. So nice little fade lights here.
Mood lighting.
Mood lighting for the shower, shit shower.
Hey, what about hot showers?
It's true. I think out of all the solar energy depleting things we do, the hot shower takes up the most. So our solar is up there, and we kind of have the numbers down. To make coffee is going to take 5%. To cook is going to take 15 to 20%, and to heat the shower is going to take like a dear 30 to 40%. But it's possible. Hot showers, you can do it.
So, coffee or hot shower? You have to pick.
Coffee all the time. So when it comes to drying our clothes, we actually have this super cool drying cable. And after we do our laundry, we just hang it here and it dries.
One of the biggest decisions you're gonna have to make when deciding the layout of the van is, are you gonna do a fixed bed, meaning it's a bed all the time, or are you gonna do a converted bed? And a lot of times the converted version is you can turn it into like a kitchenette, a dinette, right?
Table, yeah.
Yeah, table, chairs. We obviously decided to stay with a fixed bed. Adrian and I are really big on one thing. We have to sleep well. Otherwise we knew van life would last maybe a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we went all out with the mattress. I know like a lot of people wouldn't ever get this, but we got like a purple mattress, which is like a pretty expensive mattress, especially if you think about it for a van. It actually ends up being one of our top 5 most expensive things we got for the van, but it's worth it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Super worth it. So on TikTok, I get hundreds, if not thousands of comments a day, and people always wonder like where we park, where we sleep, if we're gonna get robbed. But
I don't know why you laugh at that.
I mean, it's just like absurd thinking. But you know, you park pretty much anywhere you want to. That is beautiful. You're not like parking in Walmart parking lots unless maybe you're in a transition day to get to one destination and you just have to stop there. But like right now we're parked next to the ocean, we park next to a mountain, next to a lake. We're either on a campground or we're on free land, which is called BLM land. And this, you know, the United States is so vast. There's so many, it's like made up of all these different countries. And we just got a 2-3 month road trip from California all the way here to the southernmost point of the United States in the West Keys. And it's just been a blast of, like, your backyard is basically one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
I would say to add on to that though, we're very conscious and we spend a lot of time ensuring that where we are parking is legal and it's safe. We never park in a place that we don't feel comfortable in, and we would rather spend the extra money to park at a state park versus a parking lot. So that is a huge priority for us. I do not want a knock in the middle of the night of a police officer telling us, what are we doing here? So I know a lot of other people might feel more comfortable doing that. For us, we'd rather spend the $25 to have a safe place. Where do we put our clothes? We have a specific spot for our clothes, our closet space. So moving over to our closet space, we have 2 areas, and Adrian and I were very deliberate on how much space we each got. Fun fact, we share the space equally, 50%, 50%. I try to negotiate more like an 80-20, it didn't work out. So where do we keep our undergarments? Our undergarments are up top in these 2 cabinet spaces. My undergarments and Adrian's.
So we covered the undergarments, but now most of our clothes comes down to these like super tiny squares. Each of us get 4 squares to actually share equal playing field of clothing, which is right underneath our bed on the front side. So let me just pop down here, pull up a square, which is kind of stuffed to the max, but this is 1/4 of my closet in here. So jeans, jackets, shirts, I got 4 of them. You have 4 of them?
I do, but can we tell the story of how someone tried to put a limit, I'm not going to name names, on how many pairs of shoes we're allowed to have in the van? Adrian, someone said that we were only allowed to have 4 pairs of shoes in the van. And sure enough, I limited my pair of shoes to 4. We hit the road and all of a sudden I start unpacking certain things. And I start counting. And how many pairs of shoes did you end up bringing?
I have no idea.
You know.
I have no idea.
7.
No, I
pairs
didn't have that
of shoes.
many.
Okay, it was 6.
6, maybe.
It was 6. It was a solid 6.
Do sandals really count? One of my favorite parts of the van is actually the back. There is an awesome 6-foot table that Ashley put her artistic design in to basically match our tile. And this table is basically a lifesaver when we're boondocking, aka we're in the middle of nowhere, there's no table, and we gotta plop up our own place to eat. And so you just pull that table out and it's just kind of just a really cool, neat effect to basically eat dinner in the middle of nowhere. There's also a place that deserves much credit, but is not really a visually appealing place. It's the garage, where we basically keep most of our stuff. Our scooter, our winter gear, you know, all of our like stuff that is accumulated for any type of adventure or exercise or change of weather is pretty much in the garage, which sits underneath the bed.
Do you work on the bed?
No.
Well, you kind of do sometimes.
But our van, this was like a super important aspect of it, is both of us had to work. We both work. Ashley's a CFO. I make YouTube and do marketing, so super important we had to be able to work and be productive as well as sleep. So those 2 things, top priorities. Now we're going to transform the front of the van to our office.
This is my office setup. I needed 2 screens, really important when you're dealing with numbers, and a lot of Excel files. So this is my desk, my screen comes out, and then I'm able to have my laptop here with my keyboard.
All right, my office works with a little bit of 2 pieces put together. It screws on here, and then I just take my table, pop it down. Now I also have a dual monitor set up, a little portable here, and a MacBook, and we can work away. Well, thank you so much for checking out our van tiny home, but man, I think I'm super hungry now.
Me too.
So I think we're gonna make some food, but thanks for coming out, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.